Alright, welcome to the Lingor Jungles. This is a retrospective look on a Zeus mission where I acted as the Zeus for, how many people is that? That's about 12 people in an op. The brief is essentially a NATO team that was escorting a high-value target, was ambushed and killed, and the doctor was taken to some base that we don't know, or they don't know. And so these guys have been contracted to go into the jungles, the Russian-controlled jungles, and look for said high-value target. In the mission, there's an optional section which they've chosen to do, which they're heading to now, which involves capturing a radio station and blowing up the radio. This in-game will prevent stronger reinforcements from being called in, and gives them additional tickets towards the respawn counter. So we're about to see them in their first engagement here on a roadblock that I pre-built for this mission. And this guy actually gets out an RPG and almost ends the mission right there, because that truck, that main MRAP truck, you could call it, is actually their arsenal, so that's where they get their supplies from. So it's it was really to encourage them to not drive right up to their to the enemy base. You don't want the players just driving right up there with the 50 cal and destroying everything. So each one of those cars they're driving in the thing is actually a respawn point, and we have a fairly long respawn wait. It's about 1:30, I think it was, for this mission.
We advised this gunfire coming from our southeast.
So this gunfire from their southeast, which is to our left in this shot here, is actually at a different roadblock, which I didn't intend to engage them. So I'm like trying to add objects. I'm like, where are these guys again?
Gunfire 200.
And eventually I find the guys on the bridge, but they're getting shot at from somewhere else. And eventually I do find the squad there.
Our Bravo advancing to bearing 200.
And they do send out their own squad of people to check it out, and I'm like, oh, I should kill them, you know. So I kill those AI there, and the players go further than I would have expected them to. So I'm like, oh shit, I gotta spawn in something and actually make it exciting for them. Yeah, so I grabbed some Russians. And tell them to go full speed here. And what ends up happening is they actually go for the river and not the bridge, which I also didn't expect, so...
This is Bravo to Alpha. We have found no enemy at bearing 200. We've reached the river and there's nothing here.
So at this point I'm just like, oh, screw it, and I just...
Returning back.
Delete all of them and see if I can maybe get some cool screenshots. Oh, and Jodino, he's having some problems this entire mission. He has some disconnecting problems and whatnot. So I try to get some excitement in for those guys. Poor guys didn't get to really engage anything, and I'm finally like, oh, the AI aren't going to shoot at them, so I just delete all of them. So we're actually trying out new medical settings that I came up with, and the thing is, they could have revived Burb there. They could have revived him just fine, but my settings, jeez, that gun is loud. My settings are the issue, and you see, I can't even heal him with the Ares menu. And this random squad lead just walked all the way over there. No idea what that guy was doing. And so the fault here that I made was not actually informing the doctors about the ace medical changes I made, which ends up with quite a few deaths and difficulties that I've cut out, other than this one. Hopefully next time, in part 2, or the second episode in the campaign here, I can actually inform the doctors of what the hell to do to treat their patients. And every time you see a gray square, that's me trying to work out with one of our guys I was trying to get to join the mission. He's having some issues with Ace. So unfortunately he never manages to join. Just deleting some stuff, making lag less of an issue.
Bravo's ready. Moving up. Lead whenever you feel like it.
You can see I haven't hosted a mission for a while, so I'm like, oh boy. And Jodino comes back, so I'm like, I completely forget as well that I have
Timey, teleport Jodino back in.
That I have a command radio to talk to them, so I'm like, I'm typing to them to stop the cars.
Stop the cars.
I should have just done it with the radio. And here he is. And I gotta add him back to the Zeus menu as well. More difficulties with the menu. And again, I don't use the radios, because why not?
Means you can go.
So this is really more of a casual unit, so people constantly make jokes in the side chat. You'll see it throughout the entire mission. More texting. Very entertaining content, I know. So these trucks are actually really interesting. That one there, the middle one, has a 6.5 minigun like the Quillen does from Apex DLC. So here I am setting up an ambush as well. You'll see frequent use of these in the mission. I think it's okay to use ambushes in Zeus missions. Especially when you inform your players. If you don't tell them they're gonna get ambushed and they run into like 20 ambushes, you're gonna have some mad players afterwards. They're gonna be like, what the fuck? More texting, because why not? And so I'm gonna remote control one of these AI. I'll show what he does first before I explain. Holy cow, that minigun is loud. So, my philosophy with remote controlling... You moved on when they are in a gunfight.
Yes. Yeah, we want to get them back to safety, and then we're moving back to help.
Okay, just making sure. So you see there, I'm checking to make sure they're just not running away from their teammates and abandoning them. So, my philosophy with remote controlling units is, I want to, like, incentivize the players to sort of feel that fear that they wouldn't usually feel with an AI, but not outright kill them.
Well, we've parked the MRAP
ramp to safety and we're moving back to help you. US ramp.
So you'll see I often go for suppression.
This is Bravo, we're badly wounded, we're gonna regroup and heal ourselves.
Mark the location.
You should see our group
Run.
marker on the map. Slash atheism, you know?
We just head to your location then.
So I often use AI in a way that actually just injures players or suppresses them behind cover. It's more like it's not too fun to get killed and have to wait a minute and a half, so I figure I'll leg them and maybe an AI will deal with it, but that gives them an equal chance to fight back. So you saw there, I heard they were saying they're heavily injured, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't want them to just outright die and lose a vehicle or something. So I delete that last AI before you rounded the corner. So now I'm looking for possible ways that reinforcements from the Russians could maybe do a small secondary attack. You know, they heard the commotion and a sentry came over or something. So I go to remote control him, and the AI has actually taken the initiative himself. And when I finally do get the remote control in, I just get clapped. They were pretty good on that.
We're 300 meters from your location approaching.
Copy that, we're taking cover in an army hut, we're healing.
Approaching from your north.
So we cut now to when they driven all the way to their secondary objective here. And they're actually being engaged, and I'm kind of confused to this point, because they are super far from the outward sentries that I put. So these sentries probably ran a good 600 meters down the hill away from their patrol route. And that minigun goes off again. That thing is insanely loud. So you see here the defenses, and that's the radio tower. I realize I might want to put some more infantry in the buildings around, so I grab a rifle squad and garrison them. More minigun fire. I go to remote control him. Maybe I can scare the minigun or something, and he's already dead, so I just put him out of his misery there. More texting, because I always pick the most inconvenient times to do it. And now the guys are gonna dismount and come up with a plan. I believe our cut is sometime soon. So with the base assault. More texting. And a random grenade, which I don't even stop to look at. Brilliant. Some nice screenshots there.
I was trying to get the fly that was on my screen and I accidentally pressed B with my fucking
So he launched a grenade because of a fly on his screen.
I had the fly on my screen.
And that caused you to throw a grenade?
Yes.
Is your gun screen just motion detecting?
That minigun looks so good. I love it. There we go. They're breaking up to carry out their plan of assault.
The Führer?
Yes.
Führer. Dear Führer. If I'm the Führer, why I don't have a grenade
If he is the
launcher?
Fuhrer, then we would probably seek orders.
So what ended up happening is Alpha, this team here by the radar dome, makes it up the hill, double time, and Bravo's left behind in the dirt. This ends up in a really bad situation for Alpha, because they're engaging without any backup, and they pay the price for that. I believe their entire squad, including the squad lead, gets killed
Alpha, we suppressed this shit and we need help.
except for one guy.
Try to come and relieve you, but getting up this hill is... will be difficult.
And so I don't want to outright kill the players, like I said, so I'm going to remote control this heavy gun and just suppress the hell out of them. Finally, Bravo's pushing up to the wall there,
Oh no. 250.
and it's a bit too late. You see they already have an injury. There goes their squad lead.
Unable to relieve you, but we're entering the compound.
That was like 250 cals to the chest. And here's another flop. Otto and Hertz, well, mostly Otto, just goes running in and gets himself killed. Now, I don't know what possessed him to do that, but that was probably the worst mistake you could ever make. You see his heart's failed there, so they have a minute with our medical system to get to him. And now the medic is left all alone to treat 4 people, and one of them's having cardiac arrest inside the enemy base. This machine gunner's walking up to them, and I'm like, oh shit, I don't want to ruin the fun here. So I grab him and walk him away. And their medic also, because I hadn't explained their medical settings, doesn't know how to get them conscious properly. You see that AI teleport through the wall as well. So I delete that turret quickly and kill the enemy. And you saw there I revived one of them because... yeah, we're just trying not to ruin their fun here. Speaking of ruining fun, Alpha Team here is 1 in cardiac arrest and 3 bleeding out on the dirt. And I heal one of them again. I try to teleport Bo back. That's also showing some ineptitude on my side with our medical settings.
This is Bravo Actual, alive again.
So I can't actually recognize that he's just in cardiac
This is
arrest.
actual respawn.
And there he goes and respawns. I was trying to teleport him back to be
We're
nice.
slowly getting fucked in that hell. Most of the base is dead as well, so...
Compound, which didn't end well. I'm gonna try to regroup with the boys and do a reinsert from another place.
So in the future I'm gonna give squad leads as well as medics the ability to use epinephrine, which is sort of the key drug in the squad here. Essentially the way it works is you stop the bleeding and get them stable, you put some blood in them, and then hit them with an epinephrine and they wake up instantly.
I hunt to kill at 3 AM, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Lots of Tarkov references, 3 AM kind of stuff.
There's a PKM gunner right there. That's the guy that was causing us trouble.
Among Us.
He's literally right here, dead on the ground.
And I see these 2 AI, which I improperly programmed, sort of. Some more suppressive fire. One of them practically walks into my gunfire. So with the AI with Ace, you can actually disable AI functions. And so what I did with these guard towers is disabled their move function, which actually heavily messes with their targeting
Yeah.
and aggression. And I just gotta stop using that function. I mainly used it because they don't like the guard towers. Like, they just come down from there and really don't like standing up in them. I found another way since then to keep them up in there, but preserve their targeting. So they're going room to room, and I realize, oh, all those people that I garrisoned are just now out. And so I place a few in the cover of the buildings for them to have some excitement, and this guy just instantly auto-locks on them through the wall, and I'm like, this ain't gonna go well. I hear gunshots, and the radio tower guard has actually stepped outside. The medic has teleported through the wall or something, and he eats some bullets to the face. And they both go down. And Hertz is down. I think that's the 3rd time he's been downed in the squad.
Hertz just messaged me if I get knocked one more time.
From Bravo's point of view, everything seems to be set and the explosive can go off.
So they collected some intel from here, and MRAP is right next to the tower. Talk about placing explosives and detonating them, and I'm like, oh shit, the MRAP's right there. And that's basically part 1 of the mission. I'll see you guys in part 2.